Hi, my name's Darren Wallace and welcome to my Dialed In, and today I'm going to talk to you about zig fishing. You join me down at my local syndicate, the Quarry in Essex, and I think it's the official first day of spring today actually, and it feels like it. The sun is beating down, the fish are high in the water, and it's perfect for zigs. Zig fishing is a perfect way to fish in the spring, especially early spring. Water clarity is normally spot on, crystal clear. The fish are in the upper layers, they're going to stay in the upper layers. Chances of getting a bite on the bottom are slim, but it will happen. But I just feel with the sun up in the air, there's just so much more chance of a bite in them upper layers. And that's the beauty of zig fishing, you're fishing in the upper layers. So why zig fishing? Zig fishing is great all year round pretty much. I think the only factor that will stop you zig fishing is water quality when it's cloudy. I mean, zigs is all about sight fishing, so you want that water as clear as you can. You want those carp to be able to see your zig bug. So yeah, you can fish them all year round. Zig fishing is great because you've got minimal gear with you, you've got no bait, you can move easy, everything's lightweight. If you see them showing somewhere else, you're not committed to the swim, you can move. It's a great way to fish, especially in the spring. I mean, they're just waking up. They're searching their territory again, they're figuring everything out again, so they're always on the move. They're never static for long. So for me, I like to fish zigs start of winter, going through all the winter into early spring pretty much. They're like my prime time for using zigs, and then I'll switch over to bait. Even in the winter, they're not always on the bottom. Quite often you'll find them in the upper layers, so yeah, zig fishing in the winter is a brilliant way to fish. And again, spring is zig fishing weather. It's built for it. They're in the upper layers. I'm lucky enough to use a boat on here, and I've been out in the boat today when it was flat calm this morning, and probably see about 30 or 40 fish in front of me, all about a foot below the surface. Couldn't quite make them out standing from the bank. You see one or two little head pokes or little ripples in the water, but you never really know how many fish are out there. But the beauty of having a boat, you can sort of sail over them and they're just there in numbers, and if they're there in numbers, it's almost a guarantee with zig fishing. You just got to tie the zigs up and ping them out, and that's exactly what we've done today. We've found them, got a zig out, half hour later, got a fish. A quick bite. So the rods have been out half an hour. We knew exactly where those fish were, just to make sure we had to get those depths right. She was away. Yeah, I've not even got the third rod out yet, just tying the third zig up now. That's the great thing with zigs. As long as you get that location right, you can really get a quick bite. It's happened to me so many times before. Location is key. I think we've been a bit unlucky with the size. That zig sticking out of his mouth. Fish number one. Happy days. Pressure's off. Not a monster, but a nice scaly one. Perfect hook hold right in the bottom of the mouth. Right, so we've just nicked one. We're just checking the line over now, make sure it's all good, which seems good, which is perfect. These hooks are absolutely incredibly sharp, straight out of the packet, and they stay sharp. So we've just had one fish on it. Look at that. Let's go straight back out. I'm not even going to retie it. Lead straight on, pick it up, boom, we're straight back out fishing. You get that? Just like to wet the line with my zigs. Just think it helps add that little bit of weight to help keep everything away. Look at that, still spooked too, they're still there. Nice tight line, maximum indication. Not that we needed it on that last one, it absolutely tore off. But generally, there's only a couple of little bleeps and a little bit of a drop back. But that one obviously wanted that zig bug. Let's get this one on the sticks and hopefully we get another churner soon. So I always like to fish nice, heavy, big bobbins when zig fishing. It just gives you so much more indication. So you want that line fairly tight, you want direct contact with that lead at all times. Bobbins nice and high, and then generally you'll get a drop back like that, where the lead's discharged and the line's gone slack, and then it will normally pull up. But like that last take, I'm pretty sure that was just a one-off peeler. Took me by surprise a little bit, to be honest. 2 back out on the dance floor again. Let's have a look at this fish. So here we go. The first fish of the session, hopefully a few more. Probably the smallest one I've actually had out of this pond, at 11 pound, but take a look at that. That is an absolutely mega fish. Gorgeous. Little zig bug, a foot under the surface, it's just too much for it. Just goes to show location is absolutely key. You get your depth right, half hour later, you could be holding a fish. Perfect. Right, we'll slip her back and hopefully there might be another one on the cards. Perfect way to start the session. Mega little scaly one. Let's get another. Got the third rod out. Another 6-foot zig stent out. After that last fish, we know we're fishing the right depths. Hopefully it's just repeat. Free on the dance floor, let's go. So that leads me into my first key point, location. Location is king all year round. It doesn't matter what style of fishing you're doing. Location is so important, and it's almost even more important with zigs because you've only got that sight factor for them to go on. You're not drawing them in with a smell or a big bed of bait or anything like that. It's so visual that you need to be sure that you're fishing where the fish are, and you can quite often get a quick bite on a zig if you get your location right. If they're there and you know they're there. So many times I've had a quick bite from pinging a zig out, whereas on a bottom bait or even baiting up, quite often you spook them off. It could be a couple of hours before they're drawn back in onto the bait again. But yeah, zig fishing, one cast, job done, you're fishing. Less disturbance, keep them there. Usually my sessions are quite short, normally overnighters, so location and finding fish is critical. I'm here to fish for fish, so I need to find them. I'd rather spend 3 or 4 hours finding fish and blank than not know where they are and still blank. You've got to find the fish, so I always spend a good couple of hours trying to find fish. Once I've located some fish, depends how many I've seen. I know if there's a good head of fish out there, I've got no hesitation of chucking a few leads straight at them. I know I'm going to spook a few off with that, but if there's a good head of fish out there, I know a good majority of them are going to stay. If I'm not too sure, and I think there's only like a handful or so fish, I'll probably end up waiting a little bit until the shows have died off a little bit, and then discreetly ping 1 or 2 out slowly. Yeah, you just got to go with your gut feeling really. Like, You might not see them head and shouldering out all the time, but if you see them dying off a little bit, then it's the perfect time to get the rods out. Time on the bank is so important to me. I get very limited time normally, so my eyes are generally fixed on the water all the time. Any shows you see, they're always logged for the next session. Even getting involved with everyone down here as well, you know, like talking to everyone on the phone, text messaging and that, it's all information going in that helps you create a picture, especially on short sessions. It can be hard at times, you know, like you don't always see them, and you're rocking up on a 28-acre pit, and you know you've got to start somewhere. So intel's always important. Getting down as much as you can. I mean, I try and do one overnighter a week, normally on a Tuesday when it suits the family, and I always try and get a Friday as well. But you know, Fridays are busy, so I always try and clock off work a little bit earlier to try and sneak down the lake and hopefully find a few fish before the masses get down and nick one. That's what suits the zigs brilliantly. Like, you can ping your rods out, have a few hours fishing. If you're not seeing anything, move up a swim or move up 2 swims. You know, you're not committed. You can roam the whole lake if you want, and when night time comes, you set your camp up and go for it. The second most important thing to me is reliable end tackle. It's all good getting that bite, but you want to land that fish at the same time. Zigs are a little bit of a funny one. Like, there's always that chance of knocking one off. You know, you've got such a long hook link, and you might have the lead still on there bouncing around a little bit, and you've got a little hook. You know, you've got it all going against you a little bit. But yeah, it's critical to have good quality gear, and the stingers are so sharp, they just go straight in and they stay in. It's very rare that I lose a fish, to be fair. And the lead clips are great. I mean, I normally clip my lead clip down a little bit, and I don't fish it with a tail rubber, so that lead is discharged straight away. You know, you need to get that out of the way. Yeah, I don't normally lose many fish, to be fair, and that's a credit to the tackle, to be fair. It's helped me no ends. Zig wire comes in 2 breaking strains. We've got the 14 and the 16. I generally favour the 14. I just like that lighter wire, a bit more discreet for shorter range fishing. But if I'm having to punch it, you know, 20 wraps plus, been trying to use the 16 pound now just to help kick everything away and stop tangles. But they're both incredibly good hook link materials and invisible in the water, and that's exactly what you want. It just leaves you with that little bug presented there, and that's what they're after. The abrasion levels of them are brilliant. I mean, I've never had any issues with abrasion through the weeds. They always come back in clean, and 9 times out of 10 I'm chucking the same zig back out again. The hook link is perfectly good, the hook's perfectly sharp again, and yeah, you're fishing straight away. You unhook it, lead on, bang, straight back out again. It's quick, it's easy, it's what you want when fishing, you know. You catch one, you want to get it back out as quick as possible into the zone, and you know, 9 times out of 10 you'll catch another one quite quickly. If they're there, they're there. So yeah, I'll run through my sig setup with you a little bit later, but it's lunchtime, the sun's out, Lee's gasping for a tea, I'm hungry. I'll get back to you later. So we was going to have a little change up. The wind's picked up. We're not really seeing much. That's coming perfect. But yeah, the wind's picked up and we're not really seeing much. So we're going to have a little change up, and we're going to drop the zigs down. I think maybe a foot, maybe 2 foot. Just in the hope of picking another one up. If not, there could be a move on the cards. Great thing about zigs, you can ping them in and ping them back out, easy peasy. Yeah, so great thing about zig fishing is you can reel them in. You can alter your depth if you need to, which I'm doing now. So I'm going to stick it a foot under, another foot under to what I was. So we're going to be 3 foot under the surface now. Now there's a ripple on. They might have just dropped a little bit, so yeah, zigs are great for changing up quickly like that. Just got to keep on going, keep on changing it up. If it's not happening with the zigs as you are, something isn't quite right, either depth poor location. Eventually that second bite will come. So that's the end of the first day. Not much to report on the fish front. We've still had them in front of us. They're just not playing ball. The wind's picked up a little bit for us, and I think they dropped down a little bit. So we've worked it. We've shortened the zigs, tried different little areas within the swim, a little bit down the channel, a little bit more to the left of us, but yeah, still no joy. So I think what we're going to do now is get the zigs out later on dark. We'll set them about 3, 4 and 5 foot under, I think, going into dark, just so they're not right in them upper layers. We're going to put them in the mid sort of dry. Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes peeled. Still not even set up yet, so we could even move yet. We've got the last 2 hours of light, I reckon, now. So it could all change. Get the barbie on, get the kettle on, and go from there, I think. So if you don't hear anything else from us this evening, I'll see you in the morning. Well, I thought that was going to be it for the night, to be fair. We've got the barbie on. Sausages are now burning. But we're into our second fish of the trip. And this one does feel a little bit better than the first one. Last knockings of light, always a good time for a zig bite. God, this one's proper charging. Just puts their sense of security down a little bit. Not seen any for a little while, had we? Just 1 or 2 little head pokes about an hour or so ago, but I was getting itchy feet, to be honest. I was kind of feeling I might have pushed out a little bit over to the other side where it's a bit deeper. Just got to be nice and steady with it. I mean, the lead's dumped, but you still want to be nice and calm with it. Let it do what it wants to do. Slowly coax it back. Like I said earlier, once those size 8 stingers are in, mate, they're normally in. They don't come out very often. She's in. Fish number 2. And she's definitely bigger than the last one. I just put the sausages on the barbecue. And sod's law, we got a bite. But we're not complaining. Mega 27 pounder on the zig. That one was on a 5 footer, so we're in 7 foot of water, 2 foot below, just on dusk. This one was not happy, stripping line. Real cool one. Happy with that one. Yeah, a couple of snaps and we'll get her back. More than happy with that. Lovely little 27 pounder. Right on dusk. Off you go, mate. Number 2. Morning guys, very quiet and a very cold night last night. I think there's actually frosts on the screens when we woke up this morning. Yeah, nothing to report. We've not seen anything during the night or not heard anything during the night. Been up since first light, been up since 5 and we're just starting to see a few now show. Looks like they're showing quite high up in the water, so may have made a little mistake last night by dropping them too low perhaps. So we're going to skim these rods in, going to get some 6 and 7 footers back on so they're about a foot below the surface and go from there I think. The sun's slowly coming up now, so yeah, I think it's going to be good for some long zigs again. And yeah, and then while I've got one rod in, I'll run you through my zigs and how I set them up and we'll go from there. So now we've got this last rod in, I'll give you a quick rundown of how I set my zigs up and why I do it. So start off with the mono. Always use a mono. Don't need braids, don't need fluoro, you're not looking for feedback, you've got 0 stretching braid, good mono, casts well, you can still feel the lead down, but you just need that stretch in the line for when you're playing the fish. You don't want to slip the hook because you've got no stretch in it or whatsoever. So yeah, always use a mono. Run down to the lead clip. Always use a straight lead clip, no tail rubber. I tend to try and open the clip out a little bit so it's just not quite so stiff. And sometimes I'll even cut the arm down just to help it dislodge that lead straight away. Last thing you want is a little bit of weed round there and to snag it all up and it can't break through. So yeah, if you're worried about casting out and the lead dropping off, you can use a bit of PVA tape, PVA cable tie. I always tend to trap the lead as it's casting out, or I'll hit the clip and it just keeps that lead set there. It's always flying past it, so it should always stay in that clip. We go down to a quick change swivel, so I can easily change my zigs over if I need to, if I'm changing depths quickly. Got the long anti-tangle sleeve, just help kick that rig away as it's travelling through the air. Again, if you're trapping the lead as you're casting or you're hitting the clip, that rig should be passing that lead anyway as you've trapped it. So as you stop that lead, it should be coming round anyway. So you shouldn't really get any tangles whatsoever. So moving down to the hook link, I've got the SIG wire on. At the minute, this is 14 pounds. I always try and use the 14 pound if I can get away, but I just think it's thinner diameter and it's a little bit more subtle in the water, less conspicuous almost. I'll use the 16 pound if it's a little bit weedier or you're fishing close to islands or in the margins and you've got a lot of sort of stick work that's falling in and stuff like that, and again a bit of weeds. You just want that extra abrasive resistance with it. Also with the 16 pound zig wire, I'll use it if I'm fishing past 20 wraps. Just normally just to get a bit more stiffness. It's not that stiff, but a little bit more stiffness in the rig just to help kick it away from the lead while you're casting out and travelling past. So yeah, anything past 20 wraps I'll use the 16, anything under that I'll use the 14. Right, so coming down to the business end, got myself on here a red aligner at the minute. I love my red aligners, and I love the black aligners as well, to be fair. But they're the perfect little kicker. They've got the little loop on the top, so during the winter I sometimes tie a few maggots on the top just in case it's getting a bit hard. Couple that with the Zig Bug, 100% foam, so you can absolutely lace them up with a glug or a spray, whatever, get so much attraction into it, yet still know that they're going to be absolute super buoyant. Perfect. So yeah, we've got the red, we've got the black. It's done me so well on here, such confidence in that. Do them in other colours obviously, but You just got to find out what works for you, to be fair, but you can't go wrong with black, and I just think that little bit of red's just that little bit of sight just for them to home in onto. And then we go to the hook. We've got the size 8 Stinger here, built for the job basically. It's wide gape, strong, pin sharp. They ain't ever coming out. Like, once they're in, they're in. Yeah, had so many fish on the same hook. Quite often been over burners and I've had, you know, 12 or so fish during the day, and probably I changed the hook once. It's been brilliant. So yeah, there we go. That is my Sig rig, and it's nice and simple to tie. Simple fishing, mate. It's win-win. Right, so this morning's not panned out to how we thought it was going to. The sun's not showed itself whatsoever. The mist has settled down, to be fair. There's a bit of a white out this morning. Not seen anything in our zone, but we've seen a few a lot further out on the opposite bank. So the beauty with the zigs is we can just skim them in. No commitment to this swim whatsoever. Pack everything up, get round there, get them back out, and we're fishing again straight away. Easy. Right, we're around the other side. Rods, bag, let's go. That's all three back out there now. All at high depths again, out long, we'll see what unfolds. But now, I think it's time to get the kettle on, have a cup of tea, get some breakfast on, then after that, I'll run through some little tips with you. While we wait for this kettle to boil, I'll give you my first tip. So tip number one, always drop the lead. You've got 8 foot, 10 foot, whatever your Sig length is, you don't want that lead dangling down there with a little size 8 hook in its mouth, wobbling around, dislodging it. You need to get that lead out of the way and just a clean, crisp run through with the hook link material. Tip number two then, jazz up your foam. Plain foam's perfectly good, but why not jazz it up a little bit? A bit of spray, bit of glug, something like that, even tying a few maggots on the top. Zigging is a very visual way of fishing, but why not add a few more percent in your favour with a bit of smell, a bit of extra attraction. Tip number three, have faith in your end tackle. The Atomic stuff is just superb. Like, I've been using it for 2 years now, and I don't think I've dropped one fish, to be fair. The Stinger hooks, they're small, they're sharp, they're strong. The Zig wire's just perfect. It's silky smooth, it's abrasion resistant, and yeah, it's just perfect stuff. You know, you're using small little bits of foam, small little hooks. You want to make sure they're going in and staying in, and yeah, those little stingers, man, they're in that bottom lip and they're staying there. They don't come out. So tip number four is kind of two really. Location, and don't be afraid to sort of chop and change with that location. You've got to be on fish 100% when you're Sig fishing. Zigging is such a visual way of fishing. If you're not on the fish, you're not going to catch them. There's nothing else to draw them in other than sight. So yeah, make sure you're on fish, and then when you are on fish, make sure that you're keeping an eye on that water. You want to see how they're showing, if they are showing, if they're topping out or just breaking the surface or shutting proper out. It tells you sort of what depth they might be at. So yeah, keep your eye on the water, make sure you know where they are. Yeah, so don't be afraid to chop and change. Like, you might want to chop and change colours, you might want to chop and change your depths. You've just got to work it. Like, different days will work with different things. You know, it's quite an overcast day today, so you might want to think about putting a bit more of a brighter one on, or changing the foam so it's more of a solid red and using a blacker liner. Or if it's a bright sunny day, you might just want to go for a pure black. You know, yeah, just chop and change. Don't be afraid to do it, and you'll eventually find the key, and it's plain sailing then. So last tip, zigs can be a little bit prone to tangling, especially the longer ones, if you're not careful. So I quite like to clip up or trap the spool to stop that. So as you're hitting the clip or you're trapping the line, you're stopping that lead from moving, but the zig bug itself is still going fast, so it should in theory come past the lead and drop further out in the lake, and you should be coming down and tangle free. You shouldn't be riding up. If you're not hitting a clip or trapping it, chances are that zig bug is going to follow the main line up as it's coming down, and you're going to be tangled. So yeah, try and hit the clip or trap it, and yeah, you should be tangle free and fishing, and that's what you want. So those are my top 5 tips. Hopefully you can take something from them and help you fishing with zigs. I'm going to give it a few more hours, see how we get on. Hopefully we can nick another one. If not, I'll catch up with you a little bit later before we leave. What's happening? Right, I couldn't help myself. I had to go out in the boat just to have a little look where he was while it was flat calm, just to take out my mind that the fish weren't there. And yeah, they weren't there. There was 1s or 2s, but not in numbers. We need them in numbers. So I had a little drift down here while I was out, and I found about 10 fish just down in this corner here. So we decided to ping them in, take 2 rods down here for a little go for a couple of hours. Tie 2 little short ones up. See if we can nick one out. It's quite strange because I was out in the boat and all of a sudden you come across them, but they didn't spook off. They were quite intrigued by the boat, to be fair. They were just looking at me and following me, and I was almost scared to move and stick the oar back in to sort of spook them off. So slowly drifted into the margin after about 5 minutes of waiting. Run up and got Lee, said, look, we're moving, mate, I'm sorry. Move number 3. And yeah, we're going to give it a go. One short one, it's about 2.5. One at about 4. It's about 6, 7 over there. So yeah, should be good. And hopefully I can sign off with one last fish for you guys. Let's give it a go. The things we do to catch carp. The most awkward place to cast a zig ever. I kind of want to overshot this one and put it back on top of them. That's what I want to do, is push them away. Just goes to show that even with a 4-ounce lead, pretty much cast on top of them, didn't spook them away.
I think I got that.
Did you? What, on the GoPro you mean?
No, on this.
Oh, on the film.
What, both?
I was thinking, what's that noise?
Sounds like something peeling.
Yeah. I mean, that's quick for a zig. That's very quick.
Goes to show you that, mate. Right place.
Yeah, man. It does go to show. Right place, right time.
Always worth that, mate.
Yeah, it's always worth a move. Like I said earlier, one of my top tips: get on the fish, which we've done. We found them. We've chucked 2 leads at them, 2 zigs at them. Granted, we got lucky with the depths, I think. Well, not lucky with the depths, but we got one depth spot on, and yeah, Hadn't even got the back stick in yet, and then we're away.
Didn't even get on the alarm.
Didn't even get on the alarm. It's trying to get in there, snags, isn't it? Just hold the pressure, keep it gentle. It's swimming away from it now, so she can have a little bit. But as long as we keep that little bit of gentle pressure on, we should hopefully be able to get it to wear out. Slowly gain some, hopefully. She's on the move. This one is proper angry though. But I don't want to give it anymore, but at the same time, you can't beast them in on a zig. Give it that. Well, how about that? It just goes to show exactly why it's so important to be on fish. Such a quick bite, just showcases perfectly getting on fish, getting in the right zones, getting your zigs out at the right depths can result in such a quick bite. And it also perfectly showcases a testament to the tackle, because I had to give this one a lot more stick than I wanted to. But that zig wire held firm. Could feel a little bit of snaggage or something out there. It was a bit of an abrasion going on, but I could feel it. But it's held firm, and that size 8 stinger just not budged an inch. Beautiful. There we go. Quick look at the other side of this absolute beast. Perfect. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Dialed In, and I'll catch you on the next one.